What's up, guys? Red Brick Studios back at it again today, and happy Halloween, everybody. That's right, I got a butt ton of Halloween customs that I made for this little special. Also, new studio, once again, we've moved once again. That's why I haven't been making a lot of content the past 2 months, because we've been moving a bunch of stuff. Hopefully this is the last time we're moving, but anyways, yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and dive right into these. We got the Luigi's Mansion and Castlevania figures, so we'll start off with Luigi's Mansion and move up to Castlevania, so yeah. Starting off with like the two accessories here is we got the Poltergust G00 and the Mario portrait here. So the Mario portrait was really easy to make. I just printed out the picture of Mario from the original Luigi's Mansion files and just made him a little picture frame out of foam. It does look kind of weird, the picture frame, but I tried to resemble it as best I can on how it looked like in the original game. This is as good as I'd say I could get it. And then the Poltergust G00 here was 3D printed and is articulated right here at the thing. And it can fit on Luigi. I would demonstrate it, but the problem is the paint I used for this here. It keeps on rubbing off. Like you can see it rubbed off all over my finger. I don't know why in the heck it's doing that. I'm probably just gonna have to repaint like this whole part right here because every time I put on Luigi, it rubs some paint onto him. And this is the SH Figure Arts Luigi, which is like a $90 figure. So I had to like clean it off, and like I painted this like 4 or 5 days ago. It should be dry. I don't know what the problem is. I might repaint it. I probably should have done that like before this video, but I wanted to get this video out on Halloween, so whenever I get it fixed, I will definitely post a community post of it on Luigi's back so y'all can see that. But yes, it does fit on Luigi's back. You just have to take off the Figure Arts Luigi's hands, slide his arms into here, and then put the hands back on, and it will fit. It just rubs this metallic paint all over, and I have no idea why it's doing that. Moving on to the first figure here, we got Professor Egad. A pretty simple build. He is just a wire armature covered in fabric, with the head and hands being 3D printed. The problem with the wire armature though, like the legs move just fine. The legs and the feet also have some articulation. The arms is where it gets a little iffy because he has an undershirt which is red and then the lab coat, which I'm definitely not the best at making fabric clothes for action figures, and you can see it in the lab coat. It's not the best, and it definitely blocks his arm articulation. This arm can move kind of okay. You can really only move it up and down. You can kind of move it back and forth, but it doesn't work that well. In this arm, you can barely move at all. The legs are definitely where it's at. I would like to fix this custom maybe sometime. I don't know. I mean, he's not going to be moving his arms anyways. It's really just for display purposes anyways. I doubt he'll ever show up in the series. He might, and if he does, he probably won't be moving his arms too much. Really just for display purposes. Here is how he scales next to Mario and next to Luigi here. He is about the same size as Mario, a little bit shorter, which I believe that is how he is in all 3 games. So yeah, let's move on to the next custom. Here is the big bad boy himself, my favorite custom of the entire Luigi's Mansion little figure group we got going on here, if I can get the camera to sit up straight, is the King Boo. Originally, I was just gonna 3D print a giant King Boo, but I wanted him to have some articulation, so I did it like the same way I did with Egad, is he has like wire armature all over his body. So the arms have wire running through them, so you can rotate and pose them as you like. Same with the tail. This arm as well. The tongue has articulation. And probably one of my favorite parts, I really wanted this to do this like a Tim Burton-y stop motion puppet kind of deal. And I was watching a bunch of like I watched a video on like how they made this one puppet, and they kind of had like wire going on throughout the lips of the mouth. So that's what I tried to replicate here. So you can close Sorry about that. So you can close the mouth here. Give me a second. And then get him in like an angry expression, like in the beginning of Luigi's Mansion 3, where he's chasing you through the hall and he's all pissed at you and he's like knocking stuff over and stuff. Here's how he scales with Mario and Luigi as well. I would show you how he scaled with other figures. Sad thing is most of them are still in boxes for moving. But yeah, here he is with Mario and Luigi, and he is a massive dude. I also forgot to mention the crown up here was just 3D printed. I do really like how that came out, and the teeth. For some reason, I can't find any like foam spikes for some reason. I have a bunch of customs that just use these foam stars. Like I bought a bag of like foam stars for 4th of July and just cut off each of the ends to make it look like spikes. So yeah. Alright, now let's move on to the Castlevania customs. So starting off with probably one of the middest out of the group. Yeah, he's pretty mid, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like how this one came out, is we got Simon here. I went up to an apple orchard not that long ago, an hour away from me, and up in the apple orchard is by a little comic book shop, and they have a bunch of used action figures there. Really cool place. It's more of a toy store than a comic book shop, and they have a bunch of cool old used toys. I got 3 wrestler figures for like, I don't know, like $5. And that's what I used, all 3. They're all 3 of the same sculpt. It's just like they were each different wrestlers. So, yeah, he has all the same articulation as that. The problem with all 3 of those figures is they were barefoot. So I tried my best to replicate boots. It honestly, I think it looks the best on this figure. And the other 2, it looks alright, especially Dracula's is pretty bad. But, so the head was 3D printed. Problem with his head is I used the Smash model, and for some reason, every time I printed it, it would print out it would like just crack right there. I think it was the model itself. I don't know why. I tried to fix it up with a little bit of paint. And I don't know, Smash models, like I've said in the past, don't print out the best. And are always very glitchy. He had no other good model that like replicate his Smash design. The chest plate was all made out of foam. A lot of this was just made out of foam and craft paper. This down here is actually just black fabric, painted brown to give it that old kind of rustic look he has going on to him. And he still has most of the posability as the original figure, except the original figure's joints were ridiculously tight, and then making this painting it made it even tighter, but you can still get into cool poses. And his whip here, simple design, it just has like this handle here. I couldn't really make it as accurate to the Smash model as I wanted it to, because I still wanted him to be able to hold it. I just got, for the whip itself, I just got a chain and put some wire in it so you can bend it in different ways. Goes in his hand. He doesn't hold it the best. Richter definitely holds his whip way better than Simon. But yeah, there's Simon, and now we'll move on to Richter. Alright, here's Richter Belmont. I think he turned out better than Simon Belmont. For Richter's head, I actually used the head from, I don't know what game it was, I can't even remember. It was like some mobile Castlevania game. They did have a Simon model for that too, and I was going to use that, but it looks nothing like the Simon from Smash. The Richter one looked exactly like the Richter from Smash, so that was a plus for us. His arm joints are ridiculously tight. Yeah, geez, that arm is. Same with the other 2 figures. I used the same kind of wrestler base figure. They all had like the same sculpt, so he has pretty much all the same articulation. Same problem, they're barefoot, so I tried my best to replicate boots. This one also came out pretty well too, I think. His clothes were just craft paper and painted over and stuff. This was also just craft paper because it failed to print out his little wrist headband tying thing, I don't know. And yeah, so pretty much just the same as Richter. The whip is the same as Richter, the same as Simon Belmont's as well. I think I did a better handle on this one, and he can definitely hold it better than Simon. They both have a bit of trouble holding it because the chain definitely gives it some weight, so it's kind of heavy on them. And the handle, I didn't really know a better way to make the handle, honestly. That was my first time making like a whip accessory, so it definitely was a little interesting. But yeah, you can still get them in a bunch of cool poses and stuff. And here is my favorite out of the group, the final boss of Castlevania. Is also a boss in Smash Ultimate, Dracula himself. So yeah, same thing with the two. I used that same wrestler figure. They had like a bunch of them they were all the same sculpt at that store I went to. This is where the shoes definitely didn't come out well. They're pretty goofy shoes. The rest of the figure I think looks amazing. It's just the shoes are the bad part of it. He has all the same articulation as them. He even has his little mustache in the head. Painted that. The head was also from Smash Ultimate. Now this cape is amazing. I think it's like my second time doing a wired cape, and I just love how you can make it look like it's like flowing through the wind. He has this little Dracula cape thingamajigger thing collar. I don't know what it's called. His Dracula-y looking cape collar. And yeah, he pretty much has all the exact same articulations as the other two. No accessories this time. Was planning on making him a wine cup. Didn't happen, sadly, because like I said, I wanted this to come out on Halloween. So there definitely was some deadlines and some rushing, but I still think they all came out pretty well, especially this one. Dracula definitely is probably one of my favorites out of everyone here, really. But yeah. Quick size comparison. Here's how Samus scales with all three of the Castlevania boys. I usually have Link as a size comparison too, but I am using him in a stop motion video right now, and I do not want to get him out of his position. But yeah, I mean, they're a little bit taller than Samus, just like by an inch, not even an inch, like a couple centimeters probably. I think that's how it is in Smash. I'm not really sure. I think the scaling is alright. It works. Anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you all for watching, and once again, sorry for not uploading as recently. Like I said before, we just moved, and don't worry, I definitely do still have a lot planned. I have a lot more customs, so if you like these videos, stay tuned for more. Episode 5 of my Smash Bros. Heroes series is coming out good. It's getting there. Stay tuned for hopefully this holiday is when I plan on releasing it. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching, and have a happy Halloween. Red Brick out. Peace.